Going live, going live, going live. Let's discuss. Welcome to day 10 of 30 days, where I'm going live for 30 days to talk about how to get your teenager to talk to you. Isn't that a big goal of parenting? Oops, I forgot my earrings. Got to put my earrings in. Okay, so while I do that, when we're talking about what I hear from most parents is, I can't get my teen to talk to me. They won't share. They're happy, they're sad, they're angry, they're mad, anything. And so it feels pretty isolating. It feels like a rejection, right? So we're going to talk about rejection and what that looks like. I used to have my bio go from rejection to connection because I recognize that a lot of moms are feeling rejected by their teenager. Have you ever felt rejected by their teenager? So let's talk about that, because it's a terrible feeling to feel rejected, right? And if what I want you to do is somewhat flip the script. While I want to validate your experience, I recognize that the rejection feels like a stab in the heart. After all the things that you do for them, you love them, you pour your heart and soul into your teenager, and to feel this rejection doesn't feel good. And you're human, you're not a robot. You're not expected to just stuff it away and get over it. What I help moms do, the ultimate big picture, if you're feeling that rejection, come to the workshop. I'm teaching it next week, lab.kristenduke.com. It is all about becoming the emotional leader in your home. Not just becoming, because I recognize that you are in some ways, but becoming a stronger emotional leader in your home. Because if you're feeling the hurt feelings, if you're feeling that rejection, it's actually pushing them further away. Because if you feel it, even if you try to hide it, you are embodying your conversation, your responses are in response to that feeling of rejection. So I want to share a little bit of a story. I was talking to a mom who told me, she said, my daughter comes home from school. I ask her how her day was, right? The typical mom questions, which, by the way, let's get a little more creative with the questions. Don't just say, how was your day? It's really hard to answer for most people. I mean, when the clerk asks me that at the grocery store, I'm like, what can you say? Fine. Okay. All right. Let's get more creative. That's a conversation for another day. But what she was saying is, she said, I asked my daughter how her day was, and she just said, fine, and walked upstairs, right? Have you ever experienced that? I'm sure you have, because it's fairly typical parent-teenager responses. So the mom, when she said that, she laughed. But then she paused and said, it shouldn't bother me this much, but it does. She's saying, like, I'm trying so hard to not let this bother me. And, well, it does. Because in the moment, it doesn't feel like she's just tired or that she's just being a teenager, typical teenager. It feels like she doesn't want anything to do with you. She actually doesn't, like, it feels personal, right? And so the mom starts to think, I must be doing something wrong. And while, yes, you could get more creative with your questions, what I want you to consider is your emotional response. Yesterday in our live, we talked about emotions. If you've missed any of the lives, this is day 10. I'm doing 30. All about how to get your teenager to talk to you by looking inside yourself and recognizing why some things happen. And in the workshop that I'm teaching, I'm going to help you see the first step of how to do things differently, how to see your teenager, how to see yourself, how to see your situation differently. Because, as I said before, it's not a teenager problem. It's not a you problem. It's the pattern that you are stuck in that is the problem. So tell me, have you felt rejected by your teenager? Tell me, give me some descriptive words. What does it feel like beyond rejection? So she says, going back to this mom story, she said when her daughter pulled away, mom's like, fine, I'm not going to ask her anything, right? That's the rejected response is fine. I'm not going to be that mom. I'm not going to let her hurt me over and over again. I'm going to show her by not asking her anything. How do we think that's going to work in the long run? Do we think that's building a bridge, or do we think that is breaking bridges? I think we all know the answer to that. So she says, I'm going to stop asking. I'm going to stop trying. She told herself, I'm not going to chase her. I'm not going to be the chaser, right? So mom's saying, I'm not going to chase my daughter. I have too much self-respect, right? Have you ever thought that to yourself? Okay, underneath all of that is pain. It's mom pain. I validate that. It doesn't feel good to feel that rejection. My goal in everything that I do is to help you go from rejection to connection. because there is a way, and sometimes it takes some practice. Like I said, it takes breaking these patterns. It takes this emotional leadership to go from that. And here's the deal. I will say that is something that I experienced a decent amount with my own mom as a teenager. Is the favorite phrase was, "I bend over backwards for you, and this is how you treat me." Do you think that was pulling me closer or pushing me further away? I think of that phrase over and over. And when I had teenagers, I felt that those feelings bubble up, somewhat of the rejection, somewhat of the, I want this, and they're giving me this. It's not producing the outcome I'm looking for. So, funny enough, today's my daughter's birthday. It's her 17th birthday. It's her golden birthday. Today's the 17th of April. She actually had a late start, so I was getting her Chick-fil-A for breakfast, and I was writing the caption a little bit last night, a little bit this morning about what I wanted to share, because I shared a post on the feed of it being her 17th birthday. And I said something along the lines of, I know parents aren't supposed to want to be their best friends or like supposed to have that best friend relationship with their kids, but I'm sorry, but I do. I always did. And I went through this journey of acceptance of, you know what? It's okay if I don't have that. What I really want, what I don't want, what I had with my mom, which was no real connection. It was tolerance as a teenager and as an adult. It never really got better. And so what I think a lot of parents think is, oh, I'm just going to put my head down, going to get through the teen years, this disconnect, this rejection, and that it's going to be better on the other side. I will say, I think it's in some instances it has the potential to be better, but I haven't seen where it becomes great. It's tolerable, but is it great? And so I really am here to help coach moms, to guide moms through this journey to go from where you are rejected. So reject is over here, connect is over here. We're going to go through a little winding path I talked the other day about on the Quantum Leap video. If you scroll back and watch that one, I talked about if you want to go from here to here and take this quantum leap, instead of going down in this valley of despair to get there, I can help you. I can help you by building a bridge. This is my expertise. I experienced this heartache. I saw my mom feeling rejected. I felt bad about it as a teenager. I didn't really know what to do with that. And so what I did with that was just disengage. And I didn't want that for my kids. I wanted to become the emotional leader. I recognized that as an immature response, and I wanted to do different. So like I said, with my daughter being her birthday, she is someone that I consider my best friend, and she sends me all these reels telling me that I'm her best friend, which is great. I mean, she's got a boyfriend. She actually has really great girlfriends. She has best friends. I know she doesn't actually tell me everything. She tells me a lot of things, and I don't expect her to, but I have this golden relationship with her that I always dreamed of, that I know my mom dreamed of. And I feel I validate my mom, who was a parent to teenage me, for wanting that. I see what she wanted, and we just never got there. She passed away 10 years ago. And while I did learn to tolerate, I wished better for us. And it just was disconnected from the time I was a teenager, and it never really repaired. So this is something that I believe, even if you're in this place of disrepair as a teenager or even as a young adult, I believe that there is work that you can do to make it better, to have this connected place. So the reframe is, what if you decide not to feel rejection, right? Sometimes it's acknowledging the emotion and the pain, and think of yourself. So I've taught in a couple different places how your teenagers like a porcupine, that their quills go up as their own self-protection. And I want you to consider yourself a little bit too. If your quills go up, what I want you to think is maybe not label it as rejection and think of it as protection. I get it. You're trying to protect your heart by disengaging. What if your teen is thinking, if my mom's going to treat me that way, I don't necessarily want to hang around her. And instead, they're saying, I don't know how she'll react, so I'm just going to not kind of show up around her because I don't want to feel that shame and guilt that comes from what my mom's projecting onto me. So the same mom started seeing it differently. Instead of making it mean something about her, she got curious about her daughter. She softened, she lessened the pressure. I think when we have that intensity and that pressure, and like I'm over here talking about being best friends with your teenager, which is great, but the first step is being friends enough that they want to share things with you. And recognizing your response. And that's what I teach in the Trusted Academy, which is the group coaching program that I have, that after you attend the workshop, you're invited to be a part of the group if that's something that you are interested in taking that next step. That's what we work on step by step, is breaking patterns, building bridges, so that you come to a place where your teen feels emotionally safe to talk to you. They don't feel judged. They don't feel controlled. They don't feel like you're trying to fix everything, because you've got the tools to do it differently, to have less pressure and less urgency, and giving them more space. So this mom continues on after a while, and after we work together, she said, out of nowhere, my daughter started talking to me because I was responding differently. She didn't change. A lot of parents are like, my teenager's doing this. How do I fix them? Tell me what to do to fix them. And I'm like, interesting. Okay. You went, I like this. The good news is you can do something. And the bad news is you got to do something. Parents don't necessarily like to hear that it starts with you. It starts with them. It starts with them taking a different approach, a different step. And that is what I teach you in the Trusted Method, is a different approach, a different pattern, a different step, a different way, so that your teenager will start to talk to you when you embody something different than what you have given them before. Rejection will make you react, but curiosity will keep the door open. If you're tired of feeling that rejection and you want to know how to stand up in a way that keeps you coming back, that's exactly what I teach in my workshop. So come to the workshop, lab.kristenduke.com. You can comment lab, L-A-B. It's like a chemistry lab. We're going to be, working together. Think of it like beakers, right? Chemistry in a lab, lab.kristenduke.com. It's linked in my bio. You can comment the word lab after this. I'm going to be posting on my story, all the places, because I want you to come to the next workshop and learn the foundation of how to go from being rejected to connected. Okay? You got this. This is day 10. I want you to keep coming back, checking these. If you miss them, you can check the follow-up, and we'll go from there. All right. Farewell. So long. And